My name is Sophie. I am 27 years old. I work in a small bookshop in London. My life is quiet, predictable, every day the same. Wake up, work, read, sleep. I had accepted that my life would be ordinary, and I was fine with that. Until the invitation arrived. It came in a thick cream envelope. No stamp, no return address, just my name written in beautiful gold handwriting. Inside was a single card. You are invited to a party, Saturday night. 9 pm fin 27 rue de la Lune, Paris-Malone. A surprise awaits. No name, no explanation. Nothing else. I almost threw it away. It seemed strange. Dangerous, even, but something stopped me. That address. 27 rue de la Lune. I knew that street. My grandmother had once spoken of it. She grew up in Paris before moving to London as a young woman. She passed away 2 years ago. Was this connected to her? I booked a train ticket that night. The journey from London to Paris takes just over 2 hours. I sat by the window, watching the grey English sky turn into the soft blue of France. My heart was racing. What was I doing? Following a mysterious invitation to a party in a city I barely knew. I thought about my grandmother, Celeste. She was the most elegant woman I ever knew. She spoke of Paris like it was a lost love, the city of light, she called it. The city where anything can happen. Before she died, she gave me a small locket. Open it when the time is right, she whispered. I had never opened it. The locket was in my bag now, as it always was. Maybe the time was right. I arrived in Paris as the sun was setting. The city was golden. Every building glowed. The Seine sparkled. Even the air felt different, soft, warm, full of possibility. I took a taxi to Rue de la Lune. The street was narrow and old, hidden between larger avenues. Number 27 was a beautiful old building with tall windows and a blue door. Music drifted from inside. Soft jazz, laughter. I stood at the door, my hand raised to knock. Then I stopped. What if this was a mistake? What if no one knew me? What if it was dangerous? But the locket around my neck felt warm against my skin, as if my grandmother was telling me, go inside. I knocked. The door opened. A tall man in a dark suit smiled at me. You must be Sophie. We have been waiting for you. He knew my name. How? I stepped inside. The room was magical. Chandeliers, fresh flowers, beautiful people in elegant clothes. A grand piano played in the corner. Everything felt like a dream. I didn't know anyone, but people smiled at me as if they knew me, as if they had been expecting me. I felt out of place in my simple dress, but no one seemed to notice or care. A waiter offered me champagne. I took it to calm my nerves. Then I saw him. He was standing by the window, looking out at the moonlit street. Tall, dark hair. A quiet presence that seemed to pull everything toward him. He wasn't talking to anyone. He was waiting. When he turned and saw me, his eyes widened. Just for a second then he smiled. It was not the smile of a stranger. It was the smile of someone who had been waiting a long time. He walked toward me. Sophie, he said. His voice was warm, familiar, but I had never met him before. Who are you? I asked. And how do you know my name? My name is Julian, he said. And I knew your grandmother, Celeste. She was very important to me. And to this city. Julian led me to a quiet corner. He told me an incredible story. Your grandmother was not just a simple woman from Paris, he said. She was a dancer. The most beautiful dancer at the old Theatre de la Lune, which once stood on this very street. She was famous. Artists painted her, poets wrote about her. The whole city loved her. I couldn't believe it. My grandmother, a dancer. She had never spoken of this. She only said she worked in a small shop before coming to London. Why did she leave? I asked. Julian looked down. She fell in love with a young Englishman who visited Paris, your grandfather. He asked her to come to London. She said yes, but leaving Paris broke her heart. She never danced again. Tears filled my eyes. My quiet grandmother, who always seemed so content, had given up her greatest passion for love. Why am I here? I whispered. Why was I invited? Because Celeste left something behind, Julian said. And tonight, on her birthday, we wanted to return it to you. I touched the locket around my neck. She gave me this. She said to open it when the time was right. Then perhaps the time is now, Julian said gently. With shaking hands, I opened the locket. Inside Pete unfolded it. It was a message in my grandmother's handwriting. My dear Sophie, dance. For me, for yourself. For the life you have not yet lived. The music changed. A slow, beautiful waltz filled the room. Julian offered his hand. Will you dance, Sophie? For Celeste. I couldn't dance. I had never learned. But something inside me, something my grandmother had passed down, took over. I placed my hand in his. We moved to the center of the room, and I danced. For the first time in my life, I truly danced. It felt natural. It felt like coming home. The other guests formed a circle. They watched with tears in their eyes. They had known Celeste. They had loved her. And now, they were seeing her granddaughter take her place. When the music ended, there was silence, then applause. Warm, loving applause. The party lasted until dawn. I talked with artists and poets and musicians who had known my grandmother. Each one shared a memory, a story, a piece of the woman I thought I knew but never truly understood. When morning light poured through the tall windows, the guests slowly departed. Julian walked me to the door. Thank you for coming, he said. Celeste would be proud. I stepped outside. Paris was waking up. The bakeries were opening. The birds were singing. I felt different, lighter, as if a door inside me had opened. I looked back at number 27. The blue door was closed. The party was over. But my story was just beginning. I did not return to London that day. I stayed in Paris for one more week. I visited the old theatre where my grandmother danced. I walked the streets she walked. I even took a dance class. The teacher smiled at me. You have natural talent, she said. It is in your blood. I smiled back. Yes, it is. When I finally returned to London, I was not the same Sophie who had left. I was braver, more alive, more connected to who I was meant to be. I quit my job at the bookshop. I started teaching dance to children. And I wrote down my grandmother's story so the world would never forget the dancer of Rue de la Lune. Life is full of invitations. Some come in envelopes. Some come in whispers. Some come from the past, asking you to be brave. That party in Paris was not just a party, it was a gift. A reminder that we are not just who we are today. We are also who our ancestors were. Their dreams live in us. Their passions wait for us to awaken them. Tonight, somewhere in Paris, a blue door on Rue de la Lune stands quiet, but behind it the spione music, in the walls. In the heart of a young woman who dared to open an invitation. And sometimes, La Chiachi night, if you walk down that street, you might hear music. Soft and sweet. And you might remember that the best parties are not about champagne and chandeliers. They are about coming home to yourself. One invitation can change your life. One night can awaken a dream you never knew you had. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a little magic. And subscribe for more emotional English stories every week.